All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Potheads Pondering. Sup, I'm Lada, and today's guest is Ben. And he is going to talk to us a little bit about breathwork and cannabis and how they actually have a mutual effect on the body, I would say, a mutual positive effect on the body, and a little bit more than that. So, Ben, who are you? What do you do? Talk to us a little bit.
Yeah, so let me like kick something real quick, a cappella, all right? Because this is how I like to do my introduction. So here we go. Ben Chiquini Ramos is a creator, a leader, loves philanthropy and music, on a journey as a healer and a coach and a trainer and a breathwork facilitator, living in the now and not the later. For the haters, I got love and compassion and a passion for pairing my talents with helping the people run like stallions on their journey of unlearning and relearning. We are worthy and deserving with these tips and these tricks. I assist with your shifts.
Okay.
So let's get it popping, Lada. I'm here. I'm ready to roll.
I like the energy. I like the energy.
Let's get it.
Yeah, Monday, Labor Day.
Yeah, so really it's basically I like help people make the shifts that they want to see in their life. And one of the ways that I've found to do that really easily, free, it's accessible to everybody, is through breath work. And it's also one of the most powerful ways that I've come across too. So definitely excited to be here and to share more about it. And also to share, how my experience has been mixing, both cannabis with breath work and just like how I see both of them helping.
Okay, so I guess we got to start with, for the listeners, what is breathwork? Like, give us what is the principle behind it? Because someone is just gonna be like, so I'm just like laying there breathing, or are you talking about the weed strain breathworks? Because that shit slaps. So what is it?
First of all, I never heard about that strain before. Definitely excited to be put onto that. But yeah, breathwork is, there's a whole variety, basically like cannabis, there's different strains, there's different varieties that give you different effects. Breathwork is simply different breathing exercises, right? So you might be breathing in your nose, out your nose, in your mouth, out your mouth, in your nose, out your nose. You might be breathing one nostril and out the other nostril. So this has been something that's been around for thousands of years. It has been assisting people's health for thousands of years, have been assisting people in their spirituality for thousands of years. And recently science has come along and started to prove a lot of the benefits and started to recognize like how this can help with health, long-term, short-term, boost your immunity, help with anxiety, depression, releasing stress. So really, like I mentioned at the beginning, this is something that's like a one size fits so many different purposes. And really you can mix and match the different purposes. I mean, even it can help boost sports performance, focus, concentration. So, and it can make you just feel good. I think a lot of people just smoke cannabis because it makes them feel good, or take edibles because it makes them feel good. And for me, I was like, man, I want something that is accessible to me at all times. And that's where I came across breathwork and
wow.
Yeah, so I love the basics of it.
Yeah, and that's really it. That, like, in my head, when I first thought about having this conversation, or even seen the concepts there are TED Talks out there. I'm sure a ton of people have watched, but I was like, all I need is like a minute and some time to breathe, and like that, putting that pause means that I have a better control on my emotions. And how I see the world for the day. What? And now science is like, oh, it's healthy for you. Just go out and breathe. And to think that there are I love science catching up to culture, because cultures have been doing this for thousands and thousands of years. Like that concept of the Korean forest walking, at some point, just besides walking in the forest, like they're breathing as they're out there and taking in these terps that are helping their body remain healthier longer. So it's just amazing to see things can be really, really simple, and
so simple.
It's so simple.
And I think that's what puts people off. They're like, yo, I breathe every day, like it's not helping me out. Well, are you breathing correctly? Because there is a healthy way to breathe, and there's a way of over breathing that can activate that fight or flight response, which keeps you in that stressed out, anxious, depressed mode. right? And are you
Is
breathing in
there
that
now?
sort of pattern on the daily? Yeah. So there's these
Oh,
breath, there are these,
things I've been doing. Let's go.
right, right. So I'm down to dive into all of this
Yeah,
stuff. You just let me know where to
go
go.
ahead. Yeah. I mean, I definitely think like I know as a former vet tech, like hyperventilating is disastrous. You know,
Yeah.
it's not good for your health. And
Mhm.
how easy it is for you to hold your breath or to take rapid shallow breaths without even being conscious of it.
Yeah.
And I found that in my highest moments of stress, I'm doing those exact things. And if I just gave my
Yes.
brain some oxygen, maybe I wouldn't be as stressed out. You know,
Yeah.
so then I think before focusing on the negative sides, because we all know that it's now, if you didn't know before, now you know you do breathe incorrectly. So
Yes.
how do you breathe correctly? Like
Well, yeah.
what's a basic breath, that you would want to
Yeah.
take?
So first of all, if you're mouth breathing, that's a sign that you're not doing it right.
Okay.
Mouth breathing can think about it. Go ahead and take a breath from me in through your mouth. And you see, everybody can see what your chest just did, right? Mine
Yeah.
did the same thing.
Yeah.
The chest comes up. When
Yeah.
we breathe into our chest, we're activating that parasympathetic nervous system, which basically means that fight or flight response,
Okay.
right? So we're boosting that fight or flight response in our body. And when we stay in that stressed out place, that's what becomes bad for our health.
Okay.
So automatically, by switching to breathing only through your nose, in and out of your nose and into your belly, we can start to shift
Um.
into I'm sorry, I had them mixed up.
Mhm.
The mouth breathing activates our sympathetic nervous system, and the nose breathing, belly breathing activates our parasympathetic, which is that
The
rest and
calming.
digest.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that can take us out of a place of anxiety when we're feeling, out of a place of depression, out of a place of stress, out of a place of just overthinking, overanalyzing. And into a state of calm where we can have a clear mind and really choose what we want versus being in that automatic program that is our sympathetic or our fight and flight nervous system.
Oh
So we want
man.
to be breathing in through the nose and into the belly
Yeah.
throughout our day. And also what I've learned is during workouts as well. So if anybody's out there at the gym, like, see where you can go, see how long you can last with just breathing through your nose. Cause I noticed for me, like, I would start mouth breathing right away. And what that mouth breathing also does is it makes us overbreathe. We're bringing in too much oxygen. And there's this thing called oxidative stress, which isn't good for our body, our muscles, and our organs either.
Okay.
So really, by just key number one is breathing in and out of your nose. Your nose is for breathing. Your mouth is for eating.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a whole other part of it, which is like, what are we doing while we're sleeping? Are we breathing through our nose and through our mouth? And if you wake up with a dry mouth, or if you snore a lot, chances are you're breathing through your mouth during the night, which that's 8 or however many hours you sleep a day, 8 hours a day, where you're breathing incorrectly.
Mm-hmm.
And it can also attribute to sleep apnea. So one thing that some of the books and some of the people that are really into this stuff do is they tape their mouths shut, basically like a little, part of my analogy here, but like a little Hitler mustache size, but just over your lips.
Yeah.
Worth of tape, like right here. And automatically you're breathing through your nose at night, which can really help to cure sleep apnea. It will eliminate snoring, and you won't wake up with a dry mouth, and you'll just be healthier because you're breathing more through your nose.
Okay.
So that's the number one key for the day.
All right. Well, now don't be a mouth breather. Helga hated it. Okay. Ben is Helga in this situation, but with
Yes,
love. It's with love. Like get back up and get it together.
Yes.
So then, when did you get started down this career path? Like, what?
Yeah, so I was out in LA, and I was at like a retreat, basically like a weekend long like personal development retreat. And one of the afternoons there, we did this like ecstatic dancing. So we were moving our bodies a ton and just kind of really being free. For nobody that's done ecstatic dancing, definitely would suggest giving it a try, just really freeing. And then after the dance, we did a breath work. And I had done a little bit before. I started with a guy named Wim Hof, who's really helping to bring the science into the space, especially in like the health benefits. So I'd worked with his breathwork a couple times, but this time in LA, I started to see things. Mm-hmm. And I know this sounds crazy, but this is kind of where it starts to turn into the spirituality kind of space of breathwork. And I was legit like hallucinating. Mm-hmm. And some of the studies that I've read about actually show that breath work and breathing in certain types of patterns for a certain amount of durations can actually have the same effects as psychedelics. So I wasn't the first person to experience this, but that's I believe a reason why they've been doing it for, thousands of years, because it can help them connect to those other dimensions, those other realities that are happening here.
Sounds a lot like cannabis, huh?
Yeah,
doesn't it? Right? Like the whole the ability to connect to your higher self, and a higher being is key to all the cultures. So what if they were just doing the breathing exercise as they were burning a plant, in the lodges, in the huts, in whatever sort of living situation that they're in. I think they've been shaking hands for a very, very long time, and I think we need to keep it going. So, what's so funny about this is that someone said to me, like, why do you breathe so loud when you smoke? And I was like, what? I'm just breathing. I felt offended because I was just breathing. But now that you put it into terms, I belly breathe when I smoke weed every time. So like usually I'll inhale through my nose all the way and then hold it and then out through my mouth. And cannabis has always been a part of my meditation. From grinding the bud to rolling the joint, like I can work myself down from a place of high anxiety to the lowest, being from the point where I light the joint, you know what I mean, through the process of rolling it. But then I didn't even realize that smoking it also played a role in that meditation as, being breathing exercises just by the way that I've been using the product. So I think that's awesome to learn, and definitely is a life that I promote through my business and to everyone, because it's helped me like after I do those steps, I have great thoughts, you know what I mean? Like I'm able to see connections that I don't necessarily see in that state of heightened emotion, because I'm just so frustrated with everything, and find a new path through whatever trial I was experiencing when I thought, man, I'm just gonna smoke about it, like by the end of it, I'm like, all right, I'm ready to deal with it. So I think that's awesome that there is something that to say, like, for those who can't handle THC, those who don't enjoy the effects of weed or the smell of weed, that you can still do that same concept just without smoking, just by breathing. So
100%. You see that a lot. Like, I mean, some people even I've heard make that argument, like when people go out for a cigarette smoke break, or I mean, potentially even cannabis, I'd imagine would be in this same sort of category. It's like, you're going out and you're taking deep breaths. You're just bringing in some smoke at the same time. And obviously that smoke is affecting the system. But one of the things that you're doing is you're slowing down your breathing. And that's another key to the breath on the day to day is slowing everything down. And before getting on this call with you, I started to think about, like, how do I breathe when smoking, and what is that doing for me? And am I being present during that process? Because you mentioned like that whole process was like your meditation. I realized that for me, a lot of times I would just like fast forward and just want to be high. But then this can help to slow things down and really bring you into those spaces where I think you can experience your higher self, and one of my favorite sayings I heard from one of these breathwork, facilitators out there, actually Wim Hof. He was he was saying, learn to get high on your own supply.
Oh,
This is something that will never run out.
True.
And I know it goes against what Biggie told us, but I mean, like,
facts. But Biggie was talking something that wasn't air or green. He was talking something different, and I definitely don't think you should get high on your own supply in that situation. But and this one, especially if you grow it, honestly, that's all I want.
The Bakersmen Collective presents.
So what's good? Think you're a Bakersman? Want to look like us? Want to rock the Collective hoodie? You know what I'm saying? They're available for pre-order right now. Slide to the website, thebakersmen.com. And check out the Bakersmen shop, SHOPPE, because we fancy, all right? Get you one, 100% cotton. So how do you think breathing exercises can help others?
So I think there's so many ways, kind of like I mentioned early on, they can help your health. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I've been reading is about lung capacity is the top indicator of lifespan, longevity, right? So the larger your lung capacity, the longer you live. So health-wise, it can support you mentally, emotionally, like stress, anxiety, depression. It can support you and instantly shift you from that place. It can also help you with any athletic performance. A lot of people have introduced BreathWork into their Olympic training. Okay. And I know some MMA fighters use it as well. I'm not promoting any specific MMA fighters or anything, but Jake Paul has his own BreathWork coach that he's been working with. So there's a whole variety. For me, the biggest thing that has helped with is anxiety. Being able to slow my breath down in the moment, be aware, like you were talking about, like, where am I breathing from? Am I breathing in my chest or in my belly? Am I breathing with my nose or with my mouth? Like, just taking that pause to really show up and to make a shift in that moment to something that's going to help you out, and just being able to know what types of breathing is going to help you out. Because when we immediately shift our physiology, we're going to shift our mindset, our emotions, and whatever choices that we're going to make. And then that's on the day-to-day shifting the breath. Specifically with breath work, it gives you that time to reset your whole body. It can put you in an alkaline state, which is more healthy. It can give you more connection to your body, right? To feel more of the sensations that are going on in there. I think sometimes people want to get high so they can feel into their body and feel those bodily sensations. Yep. It's very similar to what goes on with a breathwork session. You're going to be able to feel tingling and the vibrations of your body. And one of the things that's really helpful for is managing, releasing, and coping with trauma. Mm-hmm. And all of us have experienced trauma on some sort of level, some more severe than others. But one of the main things into helping to heal from trauma is reconnecting with the body. Mm-hmm. And so I feel like that's a massive benefit that breathwork can offer versus meditation. Because meditation, it can take long to practice that. Yeah. And I'm going to just
say, so I did a little breathwork segment earlier today. I definitely breathe often. I do my meditation and just about every other day, just in bed. Mm-hmm. That's where it's my quietest time while the sun's coming up. And it involves cannabis and just silence. And so I added in this breathwork exercise today, and midway through, when my body started trembling, I was like, is something wrong?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
No, she said this video, as she's walking me through it, said nothing about what is physically about to happen here. And I'm shaking like a little leaf. I felt like a newborn baby. I literally, after breathing for maybe 5 to 10 minutes, went into the fetal position and had to lay there and recover silently. And it was the best meditation I've ever had because of the silence in that recovery period. Like it was so quiet in here. Usually in meditation, there's things coming like, oh, I got to do this later. I got to do this. And I'm like, shush. And like, I spend most of my meditation, like punching things out of the way so I can just like breathe. And by the end of it, I now know all the things I need to do after I'm done meditating. But today it was silent and it was glorious.
Yes. And that's exactly when I take people through a breathwork session. We're doing rhythmic breathing to the beat of music, which is one of my favorite ways to introduce people to breathwork, because it's like, yo, you're just listening to good music and breathing with the beat of it.
Nice.
And that rhythmic breathing has so many benefits. It puts your body and your heart, your mind into a coherent state where everything's working at peak performance while you're enjoying music. And then after we do that rhythm, we hold our breath. We hold our breath on an exhale. We hold our breath on an inhale. And it's during those moments of holding your breath where people have expressed to me, and I've experienced it just exactly what you're explaining, the most clear mind that they've ever experienced, or that they've experienced in a really long time. And because once again, you're shifting your body, it's going to shift your mind, right? You're shifting that state. And so like everything that you're describing is possible. Feeling those shakes, I experienced that a lot. And what do you see animals do? Or if you go on to National Geographic and you've ever seen like an antelope getting attacked by a lion, and then it's like survives the attack, somehow the lion gets scared away. The first thing that it does when it wakes up is shakes it out, just like our cats and dogs do. They shake their body and get rid of that trauma. A lot of times breathwork can take us to that place of like, I need to shake this shit out because it's been living in here for so long, for so many years, since we were, 3, 5, 10 years old. And so it can be really powerful in that regard, to release trauma. People cry all the time in these sessions. So it's a powerful release. And some people don't have that. Some people just feel blissed out and they're just laying there smiling or laughing, or maybe a beautiful memory comes to mind. Or maybe you start seeing colors from activating your pineal gland and your third eye. And people experience that all the time. And that's what I love about it. Everybody has the exact experience that they're supposed to have, even if they fall asleep while they're doing it. It's like, all right, you needed some rest, yo.
Yeah, that's a psychedelic experience if I ever heard one. Everybody gets something a little different, but they were glad they went on that journey.
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. So I guess, we done told them what breathwork is, how it plays with cannabis, how it can help you, how you do it. I guess the only thing that's left is to provide them an event, right? Like give them something fun to attend. So stay tuned. We got something awesome coming from a collaboration of our skill set. And if you are interested in cannabis and breathing, you're going to want to tune in. What are your thoughts?
Definitely tune in. Definitely tune in. It's going to be fun. I'm excited. I haven't paired the two together, but I know that when I've done it for myself, the combination is fantastic because you're getting these benefits of cannabis. And you're helping them get to every cell in your body through this breath work, which is what the breath work is helping to do, is deliver this oxygen to the cells. So it's only makes sense that it's helping to deliver these effects of cannabis to the cells as well, and the organs and muscles. So definitely want you guys to tune in. And if you guys want to give it a short test, like head over to YouTube, search Bend the Bridge. And you'll see I got breathworks to Kendrick Lamar, Adele, Lady Gaga, Maroon 5, like all the different people that you're probably already listening to. I have breathworks on there, so that can be a quick 4-minute thing to give it a test.
We have to pick a good artist for this one then.
100%.
Yeah, because I definitely want to do it to some music, and
Let's get some suggestions from people. If you're
yeah.
seeing this, go ahead and drop in the comments like what songs you would like to hear. I mean, I'm down for some old classic reggae stuff, like all types of things. Everything's welcome, and will really help to set the vibe with your guys' help with what you guys want to hear.
All right, so we're gonna drop a playlist along with this. Okay, all right. We're gonna give it to you proper. So you give us suggestions.
100%.
We're gonna make a playlist so you can click the playlist while you're attending our event, because it's going to be virtual. So anyone, anywhere can tune in to this breathwork session, and then if you miss the session live, which you definitely don't wanna, you'll catch the recording on our social media. So check out, what's your IG, Ben? Hit it with them.
It's Ben the Bridge with dots in between. Ben the Bridge. Ben the bridge.
All right, and the Bakersmen Collective, as always, I'm at Whole Lotta 421 on IG. If you want to follow my personal page, it's just me and some terrible photos, but come through. Thank you for tuning in to another Potheads Pondering episode. We will see you next time.